Good afternoon. It's Tim Gillette with the Tim Gillette Show. And hey, I've got another great guest in our series 100 Interviews in 30 Days. So, this is a time where you actually get people that you know as sometimes as people you don't know. Well, this one here I know. Probably gotten to know each other pretty close as friends. Rumor has it we might be doing some business together. Just rumor has it. I'm sure we will probably touch on that, but probably not that much. But I want to get her on and tell her story. This is a friend of mine, Katrina Garcia. Now, I met her through Craig Duswalt's mastermind, which we're both part of, as well as Tony Caruso, who was on yesterday. Tony kind of really got Katrina and me talking. We kind of knew each other, but never really talked. Tony made us close because we're both friends with Tony. So I guess that's probably, it's good. I think that makes it so we can gang up on Tony. I don't know. We'll probably talk about that. Anyway, Katrina Garcia is a web designer, all right, as well as an online entrepreneur, social media guru. She is fun. She is entertaining, all right. And she's just someone I love to hang around with. So I'm going to bring her on here and we're going to chat and find out what's happening in Katrina Garcia's world.
Hello, all. How are you?
All right. How are you?
Good.
What are you up to today?
Oh, watching the rain fall in beautiful Southern California.
How many days of rain is this in Southern California?
2 now.
2.
Yes.
Okay.
2.
You're on a roll.
So that's okay.
You're on a roll. You got 2.
That we are.
Anyway. So, have you been outside?
No, I can't say that I have.
Oh, yeah. Avoiding it?
Yes, I am. Keep the hair.
Are you afraid of your neighbors who might report you if you go outside out there?
Yeah, especially if I don't have a mask on.
I've heard rumors of your part of town. Just saying. Yeah.
We have the mask Nazis out.
The mask Nazis.
Yes, we do.
So I'm just curious, and what we're going through right now, is this a web designer's dream or what?
Oh, totally. I love online. Anything online. I'm a geek.
You get to hang it out. You get to hang out at home and just hang out at home. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. It's an introvert's dream. All right. The problem is there's still things that I want and miss, like, coming out to hang out with you guys. And
True.
I'm an introvert, but I have a select group of friends I want to go hang out with.
I'm not an introvert either. So this is a little hard for me, although I do have family at home. So it's not so bad. I'm not by myself, but still.
Oh, yeah. It could be worse. You could be stuck at home while your husband goes to work and your kids are gone and you're an extrovert. Yeah. Yes. Won't name any names there.
All by yourself.
So, Katrina, I've been doing this series 100 interviews in 30 days, and really they're some of the most interesting people. All right. Which gets me going and doing way too many more things than I can actually handle at one point in time.
That's what entrepreneurial is, right?
Yep. So let's see what we get. How many interviews are you at now? Says Terry Wagner. It's sunny and 73 in Portland. All right, we're shutting her off.
Yeah.
We're done with her. So talk to me about, you're doing web design. Is this like, your portal that you want to be in, or is this a portal you fell into?
Everything in my business I kind of fell into in a lot of respects. I mean, how I started and then how it kind of took turns and leaps and bounds. And as we know, we go through all kinds of stuff as an entrepreneur. But this is one of my favorite ones to do is websites, because you get to design them. And plus I get to do the back end piece, which is some of the HTML coding, Geek Patrol.
I'm sorry, I don't understand that language.
I know. Believe it or not, long ago, what I really wanted to be when I was a little girl was an entertainer, and that didn't happen. So I really wanted to get into computer science, and I wanted to do programming and so forth, and that didn't happen. So here I am.
Mm-hmm.
Exciting.
So I mean, I like the web design stuff, but I'm all into the in the pictures and squares.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
yeah, I can't do CSS code. As a matter of fact, this lady I'm doing this event for, she's like, maybe you can go into our website and try to do something with it. And like, I don't know what theme this thing is, but man, it is all CSS. Like, you can't edit anything normally. And I'm
Yeah.
like, what the? I'm like, I don't have time to learn this in a week's time to put your event on. Sorry.
No.
Alternate plan.
Yeah.
So,
that's for another conversation.
yeah. So,
Well, how are you doing?
huh?
How are you doing?
I'm doing good. All right.
Yeah.
This is only my 642nd interview, of the day. Yeah.
Hey, not bad.
No. Today was an okay day. I only did 4 of them today. Yesterday I did 5 of them plus 2 meetings. All right, and a meeting with my mastermind. I literally left and went downstairs, had dinner, and passed out on the couch, and woke up to a dark house because my wife shut it all down and went to bed.
Been there, done that.
Anyway, yeah. So that's been my life. So you know what I mean? Right now, I mean, we have an office at home, all right. But do you work out? You ever take times where when we're not in situations like this, and like go to a public place to work?
I do, actually. And I kind of find sometimes it's a good thing because the creative juices start to flow. So I actually go to the library sometimes, and I go to the mall.
Aha. The mall. You
The
remember
mall.
that place where you used to go buy shoes?
Where you'd see lots of people doing the same thing, going around shopping.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, and yeah, another one. Next, texting me. All right, have no clue that I have anything else to do with the world. They think it's all about them. Do you have customers like that?
Oh yeah. So true. So true.
Yeah, I think that's something in the online space. We all get them.
I do. And there are those too that I won't name names that, like you said, they think you're the only one that works for them, and they are your only client. And chop, chop, get this done.
I'm curious. Are they, on your case, are they the ones that pay the most or the least?
The least. As we've all been there and done that.
Yep. We're not going to name names. No, not going to name names, but we all know who they are.
Yep. We're protecting the innocent.
Yeah. So you didn't always do this. You wanted to be in entertainment. You ended up in this. All right. How did the transition get there? What got you there? Tell me about the story.
Okay. Well, the story started, like I said, ever since I was a little girl. I really idolized, believe it or not, Barbra Streisand, because she could sing, she could dance, she could act. That's what I wanted to be, was an all-around entertainer. I tried getting into singing. I'd done bands. I did choir in school, the whole works. And I went only so far. And because then when I was about 23, I got pregnant with my son. And it was like, well, do I keep this going or do I stay home and take care of my son? So I chose the latter. So that's kind of how that went. And then I started getting into the corporate world, being an administrative coordinator, secretary, whatever you want to call it, working for VPs and directors and so on and so forth. And every single job I had, I was always thrown in, never trained, and told, well, here it is, figure it out. So that's what I've always done, is figure it out. I was in corporate for 30 years. I'd gone through 3 different acquisitions where the company was acquired by another company, and then we were called in and told who was going to get laid off. And of course, I was always with the company that got acquired, and there were always the layoffs. After the 3rd one, I already saw the writing on the wall. And my last one, I was with the big company Amgen. And I started seeing how it was starting to get top heavy, as with the other ones. And when they start to cut, they don't cut at the top, they cut at the bottom. And I just kind of saw it was coming. So I started making my plan. I always wanted to do my own thing. I always wanted to be an entrepreneur. So I thought, okay, here's a perfect opportunity to try and figure it out. So we did. We planned it out. Just so happens when I did it, the economy tanked in 2007 and 8.
Wow.
So here I am.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Sink or swim.
I know. My poor husband would come home and say, "How much money did you make?" And I'd say, "Well, I can tell you how much I've spent, but I haven't really made anything yet." As we've all gone there. But going through that, it started as a VA, virtual assistant, where I was kind of doing everything. And then it seemed like everybody was asking me to do social media, websites, all of that type of thing, blogs. So it started going into that direction. I started realizing how much I really liked that creative space. So I kind of pushed into that, and that seemed to be the best model. And then I just kind of really fine-tuned it to doing membership sites and websites. And we also do blogs. But, I'm still vacillating with the social media, because that's one thing that I like doing it, but because it changes so frequently, it makes it really hard to keep up on things, and it's very challenging.
Yeah, I do a lot on social media. I got to tell you, it's the biggest pain in the,
Yeah.
what? Yeah.
Yeah. Every time they're changing their algorithm, you just think you've got it figured out, and then they change it again, and now you're like, crap. Now I got to figure it out.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and I was thinking about it. All right. Well, when you start getting into creating websites and stuff, and creating your social media, I remember 10 years ago, everybody telling me, "Oh, you don't need a website anymore. You just need social media." Have you heard that line too?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. How many of them are not in business anymore that you know?
So there's a lot of them out there that was, well, I'll just put it on Facebook. That's all I need. That's what Facebook tells me I need. So that's what I'll do.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and then there's people who don't bother to build a list. They don't bother to do, they don't realize, first of all, the website is one piece. The social media is one piece.
One piece. Yep.
There's a lot that you have to do. All right. And you just want to do one piece.
Yes.
And wonder why it's not working. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. That's a lot, because as an entrepreneur, as we know, we've gone through all kinds of stuff where we're told you got to do this, you got to do this, you got to do this, you got to do this. And then we got to get to that point where I don't even know where to begin.
I see. Well, over the years, you've made some friends, all right, throughout this thing that, how many of your friends come to you and go, hey, can you help me out and do me a favor? I'll give you tons of promotion.
Yeah, a lot. Can you help me with Facebook? Can you help me with the new live thing? Can you help me with putting my website together? You know how to put one together. Can you do it for free? We're friends. We're buddies, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You want the friends and family discount. Yeah. Okay. I'm just curious. Does it frustrate you?
It does a little. Mm-hmm. It does a little, because of what they expect. Mm-hmm. I guess we all kind of take advantage or take our loved ones for granted in regards to what they can and can't do. And so, I'm just as guilty as the next person. My husband works for the dealership. So it's, hey, can you take the car in and da-da-da-da-da, even though I can do it. It is what it is. But I've pushed back a little bit more these days.
So, and how many years have you been doing the website design company now? It's
been about 5 years, I think.
5 years?
Yeah, been about 5 years.
What was the hardest year?
Oh, the hardest year. Well, I have an analogy when it comes to business. I don't know if you want to hear it or not, but I have this 5-year analogy. I think, and this happens a lot anytime you start a new business, I believe, depending on what that business is in the industry. But if you're brand new, just starting a business, I think the first year I call is the whiplash. You don't know what you don't know. Mm-hmm. So everybody's telling you should do this, you should do that, you should do this, you should do that. So that's why I call it the whiplash, because you're just pulled in so many directions. The second year, you're starting to kind of figure things out, and you're not really making the money you really want to make at that point, but at least you're realizing what you didn't know, you know a little bit more. The third year, you're starting to kind of shave off the fat of some of the things that you've been wasting time with, networking groups, calls, whatever, clients. You kind of realize at that point that you can fire clients for the first time. You're dealing with all these clients. You're like, oh, that's right. I don't have to deal with everybody. I forgot.
Mm-hmm.
So you start to shave things off by the third year.
Yeah.
Fourth year is the hardest, I think, because at the fourth year, you've got this big, huge goal to make all this money, but you're not there. And you're at that fourth year thinking to yourself, am I just teasing myself? Am I maybe doing the wrong thing? And I call it's kind of like the edge of the cliff. You're right at that edge. You know you want to keep going, but you're at that point. Do I step over the edge and look down and all it is dark? And do I just have one little step and it's just going to go on nice plush grass?
Mm-hmm.
Or am I going to fall to the eons and just crash and burn? So I think the fifth year is actually the magical year because that's kind of when all of your hard work starts to perpetuate. You start to see things start to flow. You know more of what you're doing. It's much easier now.
Mm-hmm.
Clients are coming to you easier now because you get it. So I think it's like a 5-year cycle. That's what I envision. I don't know. What do you think?
Well, I was just curious, I mean, if you're going to, you've been in business 5 years, if you're going to be like many of the people we see on social media nowadays who are giving their 8-year plan of how to do it in year 8 and you're on year what?
5. Yeah.
Yeah. So the people I mean, all right. And in the web development and in the online marketing world, they are everywhere.
Yes.
All right. With expertise that they've never done.
No, that they have teams do.
Yeah.
And that's the hardest piece because I'm always a true believer that if you're going to do something for your clients, you better damn well know how to do it yourself because that's the only way you can make promises to them. You can't go in and say, yeah, we can do that. And then go back to your team and your team's shaking their head going, no.
No, you can't.
So it's a way to me. And plus going through what we're going through right now, you may not have a team because you may have to lay them off. And now you got to do everything yourself. So how are you going to do that if you're just relying on your team to do it and that's it? You have to be very versatile.
Mm-hmm. You do. So, and it's like, as some of us are finding out, some things you've got to go learn eventually.
Yep.
Yeah. And I was just thinking, how many people in our clients, like the troublesome ones, all right. If they had to go do it themselves, all right, how fast they would be out of business.
I know. And it's not an easy thing because the thing is most of the stuff out there we need to do as entrepreneurs is technical. Mm-hmm. And I've got a technical brain, so I can figure it out much easier than most. And I get there are some people out there, they're just not technical. So it makes it really hard for them to try and figure these pieces out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, learning the technical for you is easy. Like if a new thing comes up, all right, how easy do you adapt to it? How quickly can you learn it?
Pretty quickly, actually. Depending on what it is, it takes me, well, right now I'm learning Kartra.
Okay.
And I'm going through it step by step. And that's a huge monster as it is. And I'm learning it. And I pretty much almost got it down.
Okay.
It's been about 10 days.
Oh, wow. But other than that, I mean, mostly it's mostly WordPress you use to do all your sites. Is that correct?
Yeah.
All right. Have you ever tried any of the other platforms that are out there and tried creating sites and stuff for people? Like there's the Wix and there's the what's the other ones out there? Yeah.
All of them. Squarespace, WordPress.com, which is the free version of the WordPress.org. Yep. Done them all.
It's kind of free. Have you been to WordPress.com recently?
Yeah, they're trying to get on board too on doing the hosting and the domain and cost and the whole works, but they still have the free one. But
the free one doesn't come with hardly anything anymore.
I know. They want money.
Yep.
Like the rest of us, they want money.
Yeah, because I recently went in and tried to start a site brand new and realized that a lot of the stuff that I taught before is gone.
Yep.
So you used to get it for free. You don't know more.
No.
So, yeah. And I mean, it's a cool business. I mean, cool business model throughout the years is, you offer something for free and then little by little you take it away.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
A lot of people have done that. Like GoDaddy. For the longest time, they had the domains, the hosting. Then they would throw in the SSL certificate, which is the HTTPS, and a couple emails. Now it's all separate. It would cost money for each individual piece.
And are you finding that, as a host or a host for some of these sites, that there is like a big difference now between hosting companies? Or are you finding they're all the same now?
Oh no, there's a lot of difference, I think, personally.
Okay. Which one do you prefer?
I like SiteGround.
You do?
Oh yeah.
What other ones have you tried?
I've tried SiteGround, I've tried Bluehost, I've tried Gator, I've tried One and One, which is now something totally different. It was One and One, and now it's a different naming. I can't remember what it's named now. I've tried GoDaddy, of course. I tried with the hosting pieces that Wix and Weebly and Squarespace have. I've tried all of them, just about. I know there's some out there that are new and so forth that I haven't, but for the most part, I've tried the majority of those that people use.
Yeah. So, and now you work with one company, and do you host all of your customer sites, or do you create them and put them on their host?
Well, it depends. If they already have their hosting in place, then we just go ahead and create it, and then upload it to their hosting piece. But if they don't have anything in place, then we put it on SiteGround.
Okay. And you're providing hosting services for them, or are you making them get their own hosting?
No, we provide the hosting services for them as long as they go with us to maintain it. If they don't, then of course they have to pay the fees, and we just remind them when those fees are due.
You ever had to shut a site down for a customer who didn't pay their fees?
Yeah, a couple times.
Wasn't friends and family, was it?
I don't put friends and family on that. I put friends and family on the free Wix and the free Weebly and the free Squarespace. I don't go to my hosting for that. If they want that, they got to pay on their own. I'm not doing that.
So one of the things that has happened in the website space, and this is before I was doing it. My mom had a site, and someone was hosting it, and then they ended up owning the domain, not knowing my mom didn't own it. And basically, when my mom stopped paying them, she didn't get her site renewed, and now she wants to buy her site back. It's a couple $1,000s.
Yeah, and that's what a lot of webmasters do. And I get it, because we do the same thing where you buy the domain name under your name because it's much easier, but we don't hijack it. So if you leave and you move on, we just change everything to the domain so it's over to you. It's your domain as far as we're concerned. But a lot of them don't do that. They hang on to it and they say, yeah, if you want that back, it's going to be a couple grand. We don't do that.
Yeah. This, I think hers was it went to the free market for the domain name, and they decided to make it a premium domain.
Yeah.
And that's what's gotten her. So, I mean, that's stuff you see out there that's happening. So, do you provide and hook up like email services or stuff like that for your clients?
If it's in their hosting piece, we'll go ahead and do it there, but it's not kind of like a separate thing, because email is another whole entity in itself. People liking the Gmail piece and going along with the Google Calendar and that type of thing. And then you've got Outlook and you've got your iPhone. So it's all kind of laid out, sometimes a little bit differently, but depending on their hosting piece, we can set it up for them.
Oh, okay. And I'm just curious. All right, in the beginning versus a couple years down the road working with the same client, do the clients get easier to work with, or do they like? You're long-term people, all right?
Oh yeah,
I know the hard work is in the beginning, setting it up, but I mean,
much easier, because I think they realize. I've had a couple clients that when we put across our maintenance program, they said, well, we're going to try and do it on our own. So that's fine. And they came back within, I think, about 2 or 3 months saying, yeah, this isn't working out, and the pricing is so we're just going to have you do it. Okay. It's much easier. And
I mean, yeah, and you're one of the few people I've heard that has the maintenance packages. Most of the people I know, they set me up, and then the girl who did my site, she set it up for me, and like every now and then I had a problem, she'd go fix it. That was the only maintenance I ever had. I ran the maintenance myself pretty much, but anyway, I'm in my sites every day, so yeah. But
you know how to use them, so if you have to, you can make the changes.
The average person that is your client, how often do they actually go into their website to know what's in there?
Gosh, percentage wise, probably about maybe 10, 15%.
10-15% go into the site. The others don't even go into their own site.
Nope.
Do they
Nope.
know it's working?
There are some that will come back and they don't know. The only time they don't know if anything's working is if there's an issue where the site's gone down for one reason or another, because sometimes hosting will push it to another server. But I always try and send emails across to let them know. But if they don't read the email and then they come back, that's the only time they'll know. Hey, my site's down. What's going on? I send you an email. Oh, I didn't even get that. Well, that's the only time they know about anything having to do with their website is if it's down.
But do they know that their conversion, what's coming off for their business?
Nope. They don't pay much attention to that because we try and set it up on automation where it's anything that's coming in for their lead generation is going to their CRM. So they don't really pay attention if it's broken or if there's nothing working. We do for the maintenance piece, but if they don't have our maintenance piece and things aren't working, they just don't know. I mean, I've had clients that came to us where they were paying a maintenance piece for the webmaster and they were also paying a maintenance piece for social media, and neither one of them were being done. And they were just putting money out there and they didn't even know that they weren't even being done.
Mm. I had a friend here in Dallas years ago that this is one. I mean, she's not even in the same. She was in the coaching space like I was, not even in the space anymore. She's moved on to do something else. But basically, she ran out of money and basically came to me with the notepad and the notebook of this what to do. She had no clue.
Yeah.
All right, and you know what I mean. Within a matter of, I mean, and the person who's texting me right now. Same thing, dumped a ton of money in with no plans to monetize it or put it into action to make it work. All right. And then 3 years later, they're out of money and now they can't maintain what they actually had done. How often does that happen to you?
Believe it or not, I hear those stories more often than I care to admit. I had one client, she spent $10,000 on a website. These web developers pulled all this together. Of course, a lot of it was HTML coding and CSS coding. And they sent her, she wanted to do an update and they said, sorry, we filed bankruptcy, see you in court. And she said, well, can I get the back end? And they said, nope, sorry, see you in court. So literally she had a $10,000 online paperweight that was doing absolutely nothing because they filed bankruptcy and she didn't have access to the back end.
Wow. Yeah, that's tough pill to swallow there.
Yep.
So what are some of the mistakes that people are making that you would advise them if they were watching the show today? You would advise them on what not to do, I should say.
Yeah, I would highly recommend that if they get a webmaster in place and they've got somebody handling it, that they make sure they can get into the back end of it, whether they access it or not, but they should double check to make sure, number one, they can get into the back end and that they can make changes here and there. And they have their webmaster show them how, which is pretty easy to do with video and that type of thing. And they should also make sure that with the domain name, if they sign a contract with them, they make sure that that domain name is their domain name. It's not the webmaster's domain name to sell them later down the road. And also make sure that everything's up to date, including their payment, because a lot of times people won't pay attention to emails. And you can send them email if you've got it set up on auto mode, but if their credit card has been compromised and now they've got a new one, or they've got a brand new card and they haven't updated it, and now you're not getting updated and now it has to go down, they're not going to know that unless they've been going through and looking through the emails. So I would highly recommend too that they really pay attention to that and just making sure that everything is in place so that if they have to take it over or send it off to someone else, they have the access to do so. There's a lot of people that don't have that. A lot of people.
Oh, wow. And that's some great advice. So right now there's a lot of people who are stuck or going through problems, or you know what I mean, or this has changed their world, what we're going through. What are you doing with you and your company right now to try to help those people?
Well, right now we did a live Facebook where I really wanted to try and give back to the community, and I wanted to give something that they could use. So we're in the process of pulling together 5 different videos. One is going to show you how to go through and build a simple website through Wix, then Weebly, Squarespace, and WordPress.com. And then the last one is going to show you how to maintain all of those and keeping those up to date with tips on, like we kind of talked about, if you have somebody doing that for you, make sure you've got these pieces in place and how to house all those things. So that way you've got them all in one place and you're not trying to figure out, okay, how do I find this and how do I find that? And a bunch of tips along the way in regards to that. So we're pulling that 5-piece video together and we're going to be pushing those out through social media so that people will have them. And if they so choose to do it on their own, they can.
Cool. So it's great that you know what I mean, you're trying to think ahead, because there's a lot of people not thinking for themselves right now and just frozen in their tracks of what they're trying to do.
I know.
And everybody out here is trying to do their part to help people, and I appreciate you telling what you do. So let's see what some of our, we've got quite a few people leaving comments here. So Rigger, actually, I've known him and connected with him the last couple of days. I'm a software engineer of 30 plus years, and web developer is even a challenge for me.
Yeah.
Have you found that, you know what I mean? That's what a lot of people is. They have the challenges with that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
definitely.
I'm here to develop sites using the new .NET Blazor. I just have to figure out who hosts that. What is that .NET Blazor? Do you know anything about that?
I have not heard of that one. That one's a new one. I'll have to check into that.
Yeah. Well, by the way, are you like me recommending the .com versus the .NET?
Yes, I am. I do not. I don't. 90% of the time when people are going to look you up, they're going to do .com, not .net.
Yeah. I personally, I tell my clients, you know what I mean? If the .com is not available, find a different name.
Yep. I totally agree.
Yeah. Yep. I lost a domain due to bad payment. Email went to an old email address that I thought I was using anymore, but it turns out it was assigned to this provider. So, okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
So I try to keep my email addresses up to date. I actually have an old email address with a domain name I own, and because it gets so much spam, I shut it off. And if I need to, like it's my YouTube channel is connected through that email address, and I can't get it switched. So whenever I have to restart my YouTube, I go turn it on in my host.
Yes, and that's
email and go back.
That's something a lot of people do too. Is they set these accounts up with a certain email account, like a Gmail account or a Yahoo account, and then it's been shut down and they don't realize what it's connected to. And now they can't get access to these things because it's asking for their old email account that they can't get access.
Yeah. So, I mean, and have you ever done cleanup for stuff like that for people?
Oh yeah. Yeah. There was one, it was a dealership, Audi dealership in Oxnard, and they had quite a few things that, oh my God, they had all of their salesmen making their own social media channels. And so it was all over the place, and their website wasn't laid out as well as it should be. I mean, it was a mess. So we went in and it took us a good almost month to get everything cleaned up so that it was all in one general area, so that it was very easy to find.
Cool. So, all right. Well, Katrina, you know what I mean? You've given some good advice, some good things. You know what I mean? Let's talk about a little bit about the personal life. You know, married, you know, kids. Tell us about your kids.
Well, I'm married to my husband, and we're going on 25 years of knowing each other, and married for 16? No, longer than that. 20 years. 20 years married.
You've been together for a long time. That's awesome. So yeah.
We met each other at a Halloween party. I was Zorro and he was a priest. I seen him.
Wow. You guys have kids?
I have one from a previous relationship, and he is 33 now.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
You had him when you were 5?
No, I was about 23, 24. I remember when I was in the hospital, it was kind of funny. The nurse came in and she was telling me how we're going to have some people come in and talk to you about being a new mother and so forth. And I went, okay, is there like something you have to go through? She said, well, all our young mothers have to go through that. And I said, what's considered young? And she said, well, aren't you 16? I said, no, I'm 23. And she went, never mind. No one will be by. You'll be fine.
Wait, there's a new mother's class. I didn't know I was supposed to sign up for this. What?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Wow. Um, yeah, and your son, he's in the area with you, right? Or is he off at school?
He lives with us,
Yeah.
because just like with any, and I call him a kid because he's always going to be my kid. I know he's an adult, but he's a kid to me. And they're all having a hard time financially in regards to getting their own place, especially in Southern California. I mean, even just rooms for rent right now are $900, so it's ridiculous. So
Wow.
he's back kind of helping, we're helping each other. So he's helping us with some of the finances and we're helping him so that he has a place. And he's working at, he works at Home Goods. And right now, of course, they're closed.
Mm-hmm.
So, you just kind of do what you can. He's part of management, so he's getting paid, but they kind of got, the part-timers got put on furlough at this point, and only time will tell.
Yeah. Yeah. So, does your husband, does he have his own business as well, or does he work a job?
No, he's worked in the auto industry ever since he was in high school. So he worked for Mercedes-Benz in Thousand Oaks, and he's the parts guy. He's the parts advisor where he sells all the parts to the wholesale shops.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh.
And that's what he's been doing for a long time.
Yeah. Okay. So, so you're the entrepreneur of the family then?
Yes, the only one. And the funny thing is when I first took this truck, everybody said, yeah, sure, we'll see how it works out. And then I kept getting phone calls. Can you come pick me up? Can you go do this? Can you go do that? Can you run this errand? It's like, I'm trying to work here. What do you think I'm doing? But you're not doing much of anything all day, right?
It's not like you have a job.
Just because I'm at home doesn't mean I'm not working.
Yeah. Yeah. I heard the same things. Yeah. Yeah. Many a times.
Yes.
So.
It's changed since then, of course.
Yeah. So if our listeners today want to get a hold of you, where's the best place that they can find you?
They can find me either through our website, which is www.kgwebsitedesigns.com, or they can email us at kgarcia@kgwebsitedesigns.com.
Cool. So, it's been fun having you on the show, but I've got to close out with this little fun game I want to play.
Okay.
Have you heard about my game?
I briefly. Hopefully it's not too scary.
That's the one here I wanted. So I'm gonna pull that down. So anyway, so it's called This or That. I've made this wonderful sheet specifically for you.
Oh boy.
I don't know. Some of these you're probably gonna go, yeah, whatever. And other ones you're gonna go, oh man. So it starts out with this because this is like one of those generals I kind of like to ask people to find out: Star Wars or Star Trek?
Ooh, Star Trek.
Star Trek. So is that a Kirk or Picard?
Kirk.
Kirk? Okay. You're showing your age.
I know. I know.
You're a computer person, so this one's got to fit. Mac or PC?
Oh, PC by far.
Oh, man. What?
I've always been a PC lover. And I've worked on both. I love PC.
Okay. So you live in California, and both of these are within spitting distance. The beach or the mountains?
The mountains.
The mountains?
Mm-hmm.
Like the cabin in the mountains?
Yep.
All right. By the stream, no internet, no electric?
Yeah. And no sand in your panties.
So let's find out how compassionate you are. Cat or dog?
Oh, dog.
Huh? Okay. Do you have dogs?
Yes, we have 2.
No cats?
No cats.
Okay.
I'm allergic to cats.
Okay. I think I know this one here, but beer or wine?
Oh, believe it or not, probably beer.
Beer?
Beer.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
As of lately, beer.
So you like one of these craft brew people, or are you like a Coors Light person?
No, craft brew.
Okay. Hamburger or taco?
Oh, definitely hamburger.
Hamburger. I will gladly pay you on Tuesday for a hamburger today.
I don't know who's aging who. Yeah.
If you had the choice, would you read the book or watch the movie?
Probably read the book.
Okay. You like reading, huh? Okay.
Yep. You get more info in the book than you do in the movie.
Uh-huh. They are kind of, you know what I mean? There's a lot of people who would rather read the book. Yep, I get it. So the last two here are my fun ones that I have to ask everyone. This next one here can cause wars. All right. And the last person I interviewed today actually said, believe it or not, when I worked radio, you can ask this on radio and the phone lines would light up. And here it is. Toilet paper, under or over?
Over.
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 And earlier this week, my guest of the week got this one where she said, well, as a single girl, when I go dating a guy, if I go to his house, I'll switch the toilet paper to over twice. After that, I'm breaking up with him.
I do too. I did the same thing. So I agree with her.
Yeah. So, and Cammie, the most quoted person of the week on my podcast this week from that one there. And the last one here may pertain to your preferences. I'm not sure it's what you do or wear, but boxers or briefs?
Boxers or briefs? Probably briefs.
Okay, yeah, your husband's listening, and he wanted to know which one he should wear home tonight. So,
and that's all she wrote, folks.
that's it. Yeah. So you see, I like to end my show with a little bit of fun. So
very fun.
So Katrina, do me a favor one more time. Tell everybody your websites and how they can get a hold of you.
www.kgwebsitedesigns.com. And then you can get a hold of us through email at kgarcia@kgwebsitedesigns.com.
Do you have stuff on the social webs and social medias and stuff like that can find you too? Or
it's all under KG Website Designs.
Okay, cool. Well, this has been a fun time today. I appreciate you coming out and hanging out with me for a little bit, telling me some things about web design that I needed to learn. No, it's been fun. I appreciate you coming on. All right, as always, it's great every time I get to chat with you. It was great having you on the show today. So.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. So, ladies and gentlemen, all right, the end of another show has come here. All right, thanks to Katrina Garcia, all right, and her coming on with the show today. This is the Tim Gillette Show, and by all means, guys, please share this out, all right, and subscribe. If you've not gotten a chance to subscribe to our podcast, please do so you can get further episodes as they come out. I'm Tim Gillette, the Tim Gillette Show, and I'll see you next time. Bye.